Hi. So this is I am pretty sick. So I thought I would not just record a video, but I was also bored. Anyway, oops. So today I thought I would share some of the books that I want to read this month, as well as some August releases that are on my TBR. This video is going to be divided into two parts. Like, first one, I'm just going to talk about what books I am thinking of reading this month, and then I will share some book mail and anticipated releases. Yeah, so without any further ado, let's go. So the first book that I'm reading for this month is also Women in Translated Month, and which is why I'm reading Butter. Butter was actually on my list for a while now. Book is basically about a gourmet cook, and who's also a serial killer, and so there's this concept of food, and we also follow a journalist who is like interested in this case, in the serial killer slash gourmet cook's case. But the thing is that like this serial killer slash gourmet cook, they don't like women reporters, or like all reporters, but they don't like women, I think. Yeah, something like that. So basically they have been this reporter have has been unable to like interview her, and so one day when this reporter's friend suggests, hey, since she is like a cook, she loves food, why don't you just write a letter to her asking about a recipe, and that way maybe she's more than likely to reply to you. And that's a great idea, because that ends up being the ticket, which basically is her way to interview her, which is not like easy, but eventually that's like the starting point. And when she this reporter asks, like, could you give me the recipe to your beef stew? And I did really originally like the paragraphs about misogyny, about like fatophobia. There's a lot of it scattered around the book, but I really want to know what happened. Like, how did they do, like, do I sound deranged when I say I want to know how they did the murders and stuff? Because, like, I want some element of thriller here. This is reading to be more like like, not a cookbook, but similar to that, because there are so many vivid descriptions about food, and that you literally want to close the book and go and make it. But I am in this for the thriller, and so far I'm not getting it. Second book that is on my TBR is I Who Have Never Known Men. This is also another book that was published quite a while ago, I believe, and it has been on my TBR since then. It's about a group of women who are like uh, sort of caged underground, and like they have no idea why. It's like a very depressing story. It's not like a feel good story, so be aware of that if you are planning to read it. There's like a group of 30 or 40 women. They are caged underground, and they're these men, security guards or something like that. They're guarding them, and nobody will tell them why you're like being caged here. Not like there would be a good reason. I mean, why would you keep someone caged? So caging is not like it's a red flag. So they don't know, and our protagonist is the one who eventually ends up she's also like the youngest woman in the group, and she ends up freeing all of these other women, including herself. But the ending is also quite bittersweet. That's all I know about the book. Other books I have on my TBR, like I am not putting myself any pressure on myself to finish them, but I do hope I can get to these. So the number one book, which is also a August release, is Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings. So this is about sapphic vampires, basically, a vampire and a vampire hunter. And the vampires are not called like vampires here, they are called reapers. And it's also set at in Harlem, and during the jazz era. So I am pretty excited. I have been pretty excited to read this. If you don't recognize the author, I believe they are also a YouTuber, Haley Dennings. And yeah, this is like on my list of most anticipated releases of this year. So I can't wait to start reading this. Another book I want to read this month, and this is also a book mail. I received it this month as well. It's a young adult horror. If you like the Haunting of Hill House or the book She is a Haunting, then you should definitely check this book out. This was sent to me by the author. I am so thankful. This is The Dark We Know, and it follows a teen who is bi, and like they are from a small town which was very biphobic. After the death of her two best friends, they like escaped the town, and now she's back because her abusive dad is dead, and she just wants to tie up some loose ends. And I think there's also a talk of her receiving an inheritance. But what happens is that that's like the plot twist. One of her friends, like not the two friends who died because they're dead, so another friend comes up to her and basically tells her that the person who murdered like our protagonist's friends, they are like sort of back in this town, and he tells her that we need your help to stop it before anyone else dies. The next book mail that I received is Business Casual. It's out already. It's from BK Borison. I absolutely love their Love Light Farms books. If you have read it, then please let me know if you also liked these books. And this is the fourth and final book in this series. This was kindly sent to me by the publisher, and I am sure I'm not going to get to it this month, because like I also haven't been reading a lot, which is like so sad. Like I have been reading considerably less than before. So yeah, but if I can finish it, then that's fantastic, but I'm not going to put any pressure on myself. Also got two beautiful books. One of them I did like buy like myself, gifted a copy to myself, just spending money at any slightest inconvenience, telling myself just go buy a book. Yeah, so this is The Night Ends with Fire, and this was totally a Twitter buy. I was scrolling on Twitter and I just saw the end papers and like the sprayed edges, so I thought like immediately, I don't know why, I just went and got myself a copy. Another book that I got from the publisher is The End Crowns All. It's this book, and surprise, it also comes with sprayed edges. I definitely did not expect it. So yeah, it was like a really good surprise. I'm not gonna lie. I did read this author's previous book, Girl, Goddess Queen, which is a Persephone reimagining, and really loved it. So, yeah, it's I can't wait to start reading this is, I believe, like a romance between Cassandra and Helen. These are all the books that I have to show you. So in this section, I am going to be sharing some of my most anticipated August releases, and the first one is Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid. This is a reimagining of Lady Macbeth and historical fiction fantasy. And I did pre-order a Waterstone special edition of the book, and I am low-key regretting my decision to pre-order that. I much prefer the US edition of the book, and I shared it in my first video. If you have seen it, then you know. So the next book is A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. This is another author I discovered like last year. Is a dark retelling of the Goose Girl, which is a Brothers Grimm's story, and it says it's ripe with secrets, murder, and forbidden magic. So I love any retellings, especially if it's a retelling of fairy tales and if it's horror. I absolutely love them. The next book I have on my TBR is The Seventh Veil of Salome by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and I loved reading Mexican Gothic. Mexican Gothic was my favorite book of hers so far, and I did also love her other books, but not quite so much as I did Mexican Gothic. So I am pretty excited to read this. This is a like set in Hollywood, a film set, and it follows a woman who wins the role of a lifetime. They are like not famous or anything, so it is historical fiction, and it also has a mystery element to it. So I am seated. I absolutely don't need to know anything else. Also, I love the cover. It gives me the exact vibes of Mexican Gothic's cover. So yeah, I am so excited to, I hope, yeah, I'm going to get a copy of this pretty soon. This book on that is an August release and that I'm looking forward to reading is The Truth According to Ember by Danica Nava. It's a adult contemporary romance. It follows a heroine who basically lies on her resume to get a job because, like, y'all, this economy, I cannot even blame them. I believe this is a Own Voices book because the author is a Chickasaw citizen, and so is the protagonist of this book. So the protagonist is Ember, who, like I said, lies on her resume, and what ends up is like she falls in love with the IT guy, who is also a fellow native, and like they kind of like fool around in the office, but their office has the strict policy you cannot date your coworker, and another colleague finds out, and they don't have good intentions, so they basically blackmail her. And yeah, like there's a added stake of about our heroine lying in their resume. So yeah, I love the sound of this. I love the like cover as well, so I'm looking forward to reading this. So the next book I have on my TBR, A Bum Me for Two by Trinity Nguyen. I'm pretty sure I butchered at least one of these words, so I apologize for that. So this is a YA contemporary romance, and it's set in Vietnam. So it's like a foodie romance, and it's also sapphic. So I actually, I'm going to say it, I am going to confess, I don't gravitate towards foodie romances, but this looks super, super, super cute, and I may have also been tempted by the cover. It's pink and it's cute, comes with sprayed edges, and pretty easy to impress. So that's why I am looking forward to reading this. Last book that I already mentioned, one August release in the previous section of this video. It's The Dark We Know, and also Ravenous Fate. So the last book that is an August release, which is on my TBR, is The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. This is a cozy fantasy. It follows a protagonist who's a zookeeper. In particularly, the zoo is like a full of endangered animals, and so this protagonist is like a keeper, protector of the phoenixes. And what happens is that like they are kind of like, yeah, as I said, they are endangered species, and the breeding program that was supposed to like produce more phoenixes, so they are also it's not performing well. He is going to try to bring in more zoo patrons, and in order to do that, she asks the help of this griffin keeper in question, who's also her rival from college. I love this misunderstood like rivals to lovers trope, so I am so in. And yeah, so basically they will team up and try to garner more attention for our protagonist's exhibit, so that they can continue the breeding program, so that we can like they can change the endangered to what's the opposite of endangered species, basically, so that they don't die out. So these are all the books that I am looking forward to reading. And if you are also reading any of the books, or if you have already read any of the books I listed in this video so far, I would love to know. And if you're reading any translated books this month, also let me know. Also let me know if you want me to make a separate video about women in translated month book recs. I have shared like a post and a reel, I believe, or maybe just a post. Yeah, 2 posts on Instagram. If you want to check that out, description links. I can't speak. Links are in the description below. Or just I'll leave it up here in the screen. I hope to see you in my next video. Don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button. Thank you, bye, and have a great week ahead.